Welcome everybody, this is Maurice Parker. Welcome to the Maurice Parker channel. If you're new to subscribe, we talk about sports and more. Sorry for that late delay. Here we go. Week 13 of the NFL season has passed, and by now, in week 14 of the NFL season is just kicking off. So as we get into it, the first thing we're going to talk about is the game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills, in which the Buffalo Bills won 26-7 against the Pittsburgh Steelers at Acrisure Stadium. A few things should be highlighted in this game was just the fact that in the first half, Buffalo was down 3-7. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense had 2 turnovers. The Steelers had scored a touchdown, but after that, it was all Buffalo. I mean, they kept running the same play. They kept getting the ball to James Cook, who actually, this is just a fact that should be known. This week was the most yards a Pittsburgh Steelers team has ever allowed somebody to rush for when they played at that Three River Stadium in the history of the organization. Over, I think, they like 275 yards plus, and Josh Allen and Cam Hayward. Getting each other's faces because Hayward felt that Josh Allen was kneeing him in the gut and stuff, and Josh Allen was getting fired up, and he said, was being a fire competitor. It was really all Buffalo. The turning point of the game really started in the second half after the kickoff. Joey Bosa hits Aaron Rodgers' break, he's bleeding from the brim of his nose. It gets a strip shot. It gets scooped and scored by Bernard. And from that point on, it was all Buffalo. You got to give Josh Allen and the Bills a lot of credit. I mean, completely shell-stalked the Pittsburgh Steelers in their own stadium, which leaves a lot of questions to be answered about the trajectory of that particular franchise and where they're going right now, being 6-6 and tied with the Baltimore Ravens, who they are playing this upcoming week for first place in the AFC North, because both teams are 6-6. Both teams have the same division. A very high-stakes game. Now, for Buffalo, this gets the one game closer to ultimately trying to get back into the AFC East against their division rivals, the New England Patriots, and we're going to talk about that. The New England Patriots and the New York Giants played Monday night. The score was like 31-16. I could be wrong, but I will give you the highlights. Drake May has shown that he's arrived. He has been a very phenomenal quarterback, and this year has proven that he's a problem from year 1 to year 2. I definitely believe that, like players in the past and players in the present right now and the players in the future, we got to give people time to develop and who they're meant to be when they're learning to sit on different levels, no matter what it is. I think that always has to have grace, because that's what we used to do back in the day. That's what we got to do now, is give people an opportunity to grow and expand their game, which he's done. I mean, hitting targets, hitting K-Shot in the end zone, being able to, find Stephon Diggs and Henderson running it in. It just shows a lot of growth by him. His defense came out balling. Jackson Dart showed that he's a tough quarterback. He had to do a touchdown to Darius Slayton. He had got some good runs with Tracy Jr. before he got hurt. He took a big hit out of bounds. I forgot the linebacker who hit him, but he took a very big hit out of bounds. And it was legal, by the way. They just didn't like it that he got hit, because when the quarterback is running to the sideline, you gotta get bounce. But you can't tote the line if you're in or out, because sometimes by rule, if I hit you while you're inbounds and out of bounds, then you're allowed to.
I might grab
as a
that.
hit,
I don't
the
know. My
quarterback's considered a
rapper
runner
blood
once he's
boils
outside the
over
pocket.
Oh God, here
One of the most
goes.
unusual things happened during one of the Giants kicked field goal attempt for the 46-yard line. Young Hoku completely missed the ball, and instead of kicking the ball, he kicked the dirt near the ball, which even counts as a field goal attempt, because I guess by the rules of the NFL, for it to count as attempt, I have to make contact with the ball. If it doesn't, it's like a trick play. And in that process, that was ultimately to sum up the way the Giants was playing, just one step off. It was unfortunate. They do have to buy a future. I think that they can compete, but man, that was something to really behold. And we're going to get into the fact that if you look at these games right now, they're very pivotal like the Denver Broncos game against the Washington Commanders Sunday night, winning 27-26. Marcus Mariota and Bo Nix just put shootout. I think the defenses both play hard to both teams. Like it went back and forth. I mean, Cortland Sutton for the Denver Broncos did his thing, catching a nice touchdown. Then you had Terry McLaurin doing what he had to do. Zach Ertz for the Washington Commanders. It was all these things accumulated for both teams to see where they're going. Ladies and gentlemen, the Denver Broncos have a lot. I think that winning a few weeks ago Tennessee against right now the dominant team in the AFC for these last 7 years. Always trying to get myself close. That last time the Denver was the dominant team in the AFC, Manning was 2015. But now they're getting back into that groove of playing winning football, and I think that they're trying to show that they're there to stay. But man, this leaves a lot of questions to be answered. Like on one side for Washington, I think that they go from here is you just gotta keep building something. I think you always the season. If it doesn't go the way you want it to do, you ultimately everybody should strive to try to get to the playoffs. And I would say to the teams who have been eliminated for contention, you still don't tank. I would rather you work hard to the end because there's something you can take away to help you get better at the game. I'll give you a good example. The Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers are showing that they can be a threat in the NFC. I'm gonna tell you why. They have played a very good very good Los Angeles Rams team and their stadium. They picked off Matthew Stafford twice, who's a phenomenal quarterback. In the end of this game, Devontae Adams has scored a touchdown. That was his 117th touchdown, and I'm not going to minimize that because for me, anytime a player has scored over 100 plus touchdowns, that's remarkable when you think of greats like Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, Randy Moss, great receivers like that, and we celebrate them. I think even the current generation that should always be celebrated because it's remarkable to get 100 yards no matter what era you're playing in, over 100 plus touchdowns, because the amount of tolls it takes on your body and mind and keep doing it and keep pushing into the next level. I think that I'm just going to say that should always be special. That's always special because very few people can say they've scored over 100 times in their NFL career. But Carolina's shown a lot of stuff with their running backs, their receivers. Bryce Young has stepped up in some ways that, I think being his third year in the league, he had to take time, to sit on the bench and come back. He's really been a very good quarterback this year. I think, as any quarterback might have their moments, but he's getting it. That's why I always say don't give up on draft picks and some people too early because, let me say this. Tom Brady, for me, is considered by a lot of people the greatest quarterback to have played the game as of right now. But Tom Brady did not get the start. He was a late draft pick. He was the 6th round draft pick. He was late. He had to wait a year to New England Patriots. Drew Bledsoe ends up getting hurt. He ends up running the system. Even if, usually I'm saying this because even if somebody's picked early, sometimes you gotta get people to develop who they're meant to be. I think we have to let people develop for who they're meant to be in the system and process. You might have picked the gym, but sometimes you gotta wait for the gym to polish. At least 2 or 3 years. At least get them accommodated to the system. The great Patrick Mahomes, who's been in the league now for the Chiefs, he sat behind a year of Alex Smith. Aaron Rodgers, who's had a Hall of Fame career, sat behind Brett Favre. Jordan Love sat behind Aaron Rodgers. The point I'm making is that sometimes we have to be fair and letting talent people develop and adjust to the system and what it takes. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other wonderful games that I cannot think of at the top of my head right now. Shador Sanders did not. Myles Garrett actually had Shador Sanders and the Browns lost to the 49ers, but Myles Garrett recorded his 19th sack. He's actually 3.5 sacks away from tying the record. He could 4. He beats the record, the all-time NFL record for sacks in the season is 22.5, held by the great Michael Strahan and currently T.J. Watt. But let it be known that Myles Garrett is up there. He brings it every single week. Even though the Browns are not having a winning season, he clearly, in my mind, is the defensive player of the year. And I think that should be acknowledged on that level. And I know Shador Sanders did not have a particularly good game, but I do think he'll bounce back because he has that DNA in him to bounce back. I did want to mention and say thank you guys so much for being patient with me so much. I definitely appreciate that so much. You guys have been really wonderful. I thank you guys all so much for your subscriptions, for your feedback, for just taking time out your day to listen to me on this channel. Because there's a lot of great channels out there that you could watch and listen to on YouTube. There's a lot of great YouTubers, great performers. I love to give you the content that I think of from my mind. My biggest thing is always to be positive and teach positivity on the athletes and players because, you watch the games and try to get a feel for it. I remind myself these are human beings playing the game in the sport of football and this, in any athlete, any profession, like people. I don't try to look at what they might be making in the dollar signs. I just want to make sure that they themselves, just play hard to the best of their abilities. Every week is not going to be a star-studded week, but every game you go out there and try to prove yourself and try to do the best you can every week. I say to those athletes, hey, keep going and keep keep going, keep working harder, keep going forward, and appreciate you guys doing what you do because it allows me to do what I do to go over the games like this and talk about it. I definitely appreciate that. To the teams who are fighting for playoffs, who have been on a losing streak, bounce back. This is the time of the season you got to bounce back and fight hard to finish off the season strong. For the teams winning, you can't. Don't take it for granted. Keep going. Keep bouncing back. This is Maurice Parker from the Maurice Parker channel. I cannot wait to see you guys in the next one.